Jyotirgamaya Tamasho ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritangamaya Avir Avir Maiji Rudra Yate Dakshinamukam Te Namam Pahi Nityam Te Namam Pahi Nityam Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness and ignorance to light and illumination. Lead us from death to immortality, and evermore shine in our hearts with thy sweet and resplendent face. Oh, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. I am extremely happy to be here today with this wonderful group of personalities who are engaged in different services in the community, and well, to hear about something about Swami Vivekananda's impact or relevance even today. First of all, because you are all coming from mostly Indian background, I don't need much to talk about Swami Vivekananda. Vivekananda, in his personal life, he was a man born in Calcutta, but he was not a human personality, in a human frame. He was a power, he was a dynamo, burst into the society to bring out the inner potential divinity. He awakened India. Today's freedom movement for freedom, what we got in India, Vivekananda has the greatest contribution. Sister Nivedita, Mahatma Gandhi, even read the Subhash Bose, you read all the national leaders, they say that we are greatly indebted to Swami Vivekananda. Mahatma Gandhi said, had I came to pay respect for Swami Vivekananda in Velur Mott, which started. What makes it very special about Vivekananda is that he was in the form of a human personality, but he brought tremendous energy into the nation, and his contribution to the world is unfathomable. His impact, what he created in the world, is tremendous. Swami Vivekananda came in this country, we all know, to preach Vedanta, but that was his twin ideal. One is the point that he came here to bring the ancient wisdom of India. India was considered the savage race with no background, worshipping idols and dolls and idols and all images and stones, uncivilized country. Could you imagine at the time when Swami Vivekananda came in 1893? And Swami Vivekananda raised India in its present glory. Miss MacLeod, Sister Nivedita and others used to say, when Swami Vivekananda used to speak, the 5-letter words is to come out of his mouth, I-N-D-I-A. I'm quoting MacLeod, said the whole of India, its old glories, the spiritual richness of India, its culture, its heritage, its prestige, is to come, manifest through his own personality. That was Vivekananda. And some people say he was condensed Vivekananda. He has such a personality. He loved India. He asked Sister Nivedita MacLeod to love India. But what India? That India, India of spiritual India, in which the rishis and sages were born and not born, and they lived in life and declared to the world, Srinnantu Vishwe Amritasya Putra Aje dhamani divyani tastu Vedahamitam purusham mahantam Aditya varnam tamasak parasta. What a grand message! And Swami Vivekananda brought this message in this country. Srinantu Vishwe, listen, men and women of the whole world, in universe, whole cosmos. Vishya Amrita, you are all children of divine bliss. What a call! He's calling every one of us. We are inheritors of divine bliss, Amrita, nectar, birthless, deathless reality. That is we are, not this mortal frame. That's why he said, Srinantu Vishwe. Rishis said in ancient time, thousands of years ago, we do not know who that says name of the sage. What a grand country where the highest realization was given to the people and not even mentioning their own name, but they're declaring the eternal wisdom which we carry in our heart, but we have forgotten. That's why he says, ye the children of divine bliss, Srinantu Vishamritasya Putra, Aje Dhamani Divyani Tastu. Those who are living in this world and in the high heaven, listen. Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam. I have recognized, I have understood, I have realized that infinite bliss, Mahantam, that grand spiritual entity, Vedo Aham, Veda Purusham, that conscious entity, the supreme conscious entity, which is called God. Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam, Aditya Varnam Tamasak Parasta, which is beyond all darkness and ignorance, which is made from nature of effulgence and light. Tameva viditva Tameva viditva, only knowing that you will be freed from all bondage. Nanya pantha vidyate ayana. That is the declaration. That is the ancient wisdom which was hidden and in the obscure. And that's why India was considered a savage race. But it has not understood that it is only Indian spiritual tradition teaches God permeates everywhere. It is immanent. Who is transcendent in the spiritual realm of Samadhi? He is immanent in the every being. And that was the declaration of Swami Vivekananda. Contribution, it is eternal message of Vivekananda. He does not come to preach Indian, political India. He didn't come to preach a special doctrine and dogma. But he wanted to preach only universal religion, which is the core of all humanity, whether in whatever level one resides, in this mental level or in the intellectual level. This is the point very important to know. His contribution, it will remain forever. Swami Vivekananda one day said before his death that what I have given to the world, let 1500 years, let it go. That to digest that message, that is the ancient message of India. He said, whatever I have said nothing but the Upanishads. And what Upanishads declare? The Upanishads declare you are divine. Upanishads declare that in you all power is there. Be a man of character. Swami Vivekananda says, if I have anything to say about education, I will ask everyone to learn how to concentrate and focus. Swami Vivekananda said the whole world is ready to express his secrets, only if we know how to tap it. And that he taught us how to concentrate, how to teach in our life for children's education. He says the education system, when he talks about, it is eternal message. That's why Vivekananda, as I said, it does not come from one sectarian idea to preach. He came here to preach for the whole humanity. It is for world religion, world culture. He preached in the whole world. You see, in 1893, when it was the Parliament of Religions, what happened in 1893 and Vivekananda was there. Every religious leader was talking about their religion. How good is that? But only one person stood there, and that was Swami Vivekananda, who said, he stood for the whole world religion. And the harmony of religion was built up there at that day. It is to respect every religion, and probably you have read that, these are eternal messages. Let me quote a few lines from Swami Vivekananda's message on the first day when he approached the this convention, he said, you have read probably, but it is wonderful. It is a thrilling message. It is the universal message which is even today more important to understand. And the world should have to follow that. Otherwise, there is great danger for the world. What he says, he didn't know what to say. But he was so nervous to speak something. But when he stood up, the whole hall of 7,000 or 10,000 people what were there, they stood on the feet and they started clapping him. When he first uttered the few words, dear sisters and brothers of America. And what he said? He said, it fills my heart with joy unspeakable to rise in response to the warm and cordial welcome which you have given us. I thank you in the name of the most ancient order of monks in the world. I thank you in the name of the mother of religions. And I thank you in the name of millions and millions of Hindu people of all classes and sects. Could you imagine what a daring personality? He's saying what audacious statement. In those days when in the whole US is all charged with the Christian idea of Christianity, the highest, and that was the purpose of this convention, underlying purpose. But he stands there, and what is his love for India? What he says? I thank you in the name of the most ancient order of the monks of the world. Who are the world monks? They are naked fakirs. They have no money, they have no wealth, other material wealth. Monks carry the spiritual higher ideal, and India is surviving. What a beat, all the world cultures have gone. Greek civilization, where is that? But India's civilization of spirituality stands, and he is thanking that ancient sages who have carried, the monks who have carried that spirituality. He is saying, thank you in the name of mother of religions. How audacious is that? Vivekananda is talking Hindu religion, not Hindu. Hindu, he denied the Sanatana Dharma. That's why eternal religion. Eternal religion is for everyone. It is not for the Hindus. Hindu word has come wrongly by the Persians, because Persians could not pronounce the word Sindh. So they call Hind. Those who live in the bank of Sindh river, they are called Sindhus, and they pronounce that Hindus, and that's why Hinduism has come. But it is called the Sanatana Dharma. Why it is Sanatana? It is universal for everyone. It matters little in which part of the world you are, which religion is following, but it is the same religion of ultimate truth. So Swamiji is talking mother of religion, because you know in the Sanatana Dharma, all the religions are supported there, and all the religious ideas can be found in the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita. He says, I thank you in the name of millions and millions of Hindu people of all classes and sects. And then he says, I am proud to belong to a religion which has taught the world both tolerance and universal acceptance. This is very important topic today. Tolerance and universal acceptance between all the religions of the world. All religion, they are fighting. My religion is the only religion. You are going in the wrong direction. I can take a sword and cut your head because you are wrong. I am right. And Swami Vivekananda says, proud to belong to a religion which has taught the world both tolerance and universal acceptance. Not only toleration, even toleration means little ego is there. I am tolerating you, no? I could chop your head, but I am tolerating. No, it is not that language. Accept. It is the acceptance. What a bold statement of Vivekananda. And he is teaching we all to learn that we have to accept others, all the religious faith. Who says that I am proud to belong to a religion which has taught the world both tolerance and universal acceptance. We believe in universal toleration, but we accept all religions are true. That's another gift of Swami Vivekananda to the world. Ramakrishna lived that life. He practiced all the disciplines and all the paths, Hindu path, hundreds of divisions of Hindu practices, Tantra, Shakta path, Vedantic path, non-dualistic, qualified dualism, everything he practiced. And he says, ultimately, I reached the same goal. And also he finds that he is preaching Islam, he practiced Christianity and reaching the same goal. So this is that way he said, we believe not only in universal toleration, but we accept all religion as true. I am proud to belong to a nation. That's a beautiful word. And actually that's the greatness of India. He's saying, I am proud to belong to a nation which has sheltered the persecuted and the refugees of all religions and all nations in the earth. I am proud to tell you that we have gathered in our bosom the purest remnant of the Israelites who came to southern India and took refuge with us in the very year in which their holy temple was shattered to pieces by Roman tyranny. I am proud to belong to that religion which has sheltered and is still fostering the remnant of the grand Zoroastrian nations. And then he quoted that of the from the Upanishad. No? Ye yathamang prapadyante, from the Gita he quoted. Tang satyu hayamyam. Mamavarto anuvartante. All path leading to the same goal. That's the only declaration of India. And that is the important thing which Swami Vivekananda contributed to the world. And today's, in every state of this US you go, there is interfaith meetings, interfaith understanding. People trying to understand what is the commonality of all our religion. Are we not going to the one goal? But we have forgotten that. And that's why Swami Vivekananda is eternal. His message will be ever important for us to remember. Swami Vivekananda said another point, very important. He presented that this present convention, he was talking about 1893's convention, the most august assemblies ever held, is in itself a vindication, is a declaration to the world of the wonderful doctrine preached by the Bhagavad Gita, that whosoever comes to me through whatsoever form, I reach him. All men are struggling through paths which in the end they lead to me. And then he says, continues, sectarianism, bigotry and its horrible descendant, fanaticism, have long possessed this beautiful earth. They have filled the earth with violence, drenched it often and often with human blood, destroyed civilization, and set the whole nation to despair. Had it not been for these horrible demons, human society would be far more advanced than it is now. But that time is come. And I fervently hope that the bell that tolled this morning in the honor of the convention may be the death knell of all fanaticism, of all persecution with the sword or with the pen, and of all uncharitable feelings between persons wending their way to the same goal. That is Swami Vivekananda. This message is eternal message. 9/11. This speech was given on the 11th of September, and that was 1893. And the same 9/11 it happened. The unique history. But Twin Towers were destroyed. What was the ground? Spirituality or religion? Swami Vivekananda said, spiritually, religion. What is religion? Religion is God realization. Where is the position of fighting with others? Sri Ramakrishna said, you come to a garden and full of mango trees. And ripe mangoes are hanging. Will you come to just analyze, hey, this mango tree came from where? And analyze, count the leaves and these and quality, analyze and never taste a mango? If life is there, what is the purpose of human life? God realization, attaining to the bliss, attaining to the peace, and not only attaining oneself, giving that peace to all. What is the purpose of religion? Swami Vivekananda emphasized. What Swami Vivekananda says is very important. That is eternal message. Again, Swami Vivekananda said, I have said nothing but the message of the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita. And he became a mark, he made a mark Indian spirituality in the platform of America. And that has a revolutionary effect in India. And India awakened in the spirit. That India was thinking there is nothing, no culture, nothing. But they came to know, yes, they have great treasure and the world is waiting to have that gift. What is that gift? Swami Vivekananda's simple words. It says, each soul is potentially divine. That's the message, eternal message. Each soul is potentially divine. He's not saying each Indian. He's not saying each American. He's not saying each British people. He's not saying African people. He says each soul is potentially divine. Divinity is here, but it is potential. The goal is to manifest this divine within. That should be spirituality, no? You manifest your divinity. And if we don't manifest, we manifest animal instinct, will that be a religion? That's why we have to listen to Vivekananda more intently before entering into the platform of religion, or talking about religion, or going to churches and temples. It's good, but if it does not change the character of a person, it does not make you holy, it does not make you selfless, then what is the nonsense of religion? Swami Vivekananda said, each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest this divine within. How will you do? Not with the sword in hand. How will you do? Next line. Do it. Either by philosophy, or by what? Or by meditation, or by devotion. Take any path, by one, or all of these, and all of it, and be free. This is the whole of religion, a new definition of religion. People are cutting the throats of others. People are intolerant about other religion. Is it religion? Why shall we go to religion to have this nonsense thing, unless it transforms a human into a divine entity? So Swami Vivekananda's idea that we are divine in nature, but we are covered, the divine divinity is in, as if covered by, like a cloud is covered by the sun, and you don't see the sun. In each of us we have that eternal sun, the infinite joy, infinite bliss, infinite divinity is there, but we do not know that. That's why it is said potential, and we have to manifest that divine within by controlling nature, internal and external. Come to the point. Every word we have to pay attention. You need not to read Vivekananda 9 volumes. You take a few words of Vivekananda and that can transform our life, and that can transform the whole world. Only these 4 lines I am telling, if you just remember. What is that religion? Each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest that divine within. That's the whole life. Whatever religion you follow matters little. Are you manifesting your divinity? Or your animalistic instinct? Are you developing love, consideration, fellow feeling, dedication, sacrifice? Swami Vivekananda said, expansion is life, contraction is death. Swami Vivekananda said, selfishness is the bane of all mischiefs. Selflessness is godliness. And then he said, how to do? Change your character. By controlling nature, internal and external. You cannot be a religious leader or religious person at all if you have no control of your passion, your anger, your frustration, your meanness, your unkindness, your body-centric life. You live in the sensate universe only, nothing beyond. That's not the purpose. Said that is by controlling the nature internal and external. Yes, in ancient time, we had the 2 sciences in India was developed. Was para and apara. Para vidya, apara vidya. What is apara vidya? Apara vidya is material science. India was great in material science and development. But they didn't pay attention only to material science. They developed spiritual science also. Para means supreme. And that supreme knowledge is the knowledge of the Atman, knowledge of the self, knowledge of the divinity, knowledge of that eternal substance, birthless, deathless, essential nature of ours. And then Swami Vivekananda said, by controlling nature, first you try to control the nature internal, and also try to control the nature external. And what is the purpose? And be free. This is the whole of religion. Now, what about these temples and churches? He says, yes, be free. This is the whole of religion. Temples or churches. Books and forms. Rituals and forms. These are all but secondary details. We go to church, that's good. Are you becoming a real follower of Christ? You are going to a mosque. Are you really becoming a lover of Allah? You are going to Krishna temple. Are you becoming really a lover of Krishna? And Krishna is manifesting through your life? Are you going to Rama Mandir? Are you becoming a Rama-like person whose face is always beaming with joy in all the troubles and tribulations of life? Are you becoming like Shiva, who is compassionate? Are you becoming like Mother? You are worshipping Mother? If that is not, what is religion for? Saying my religion is highest because you have a sword in hand or gun in hand, you will become big. Or if I character, you become big. And that's also another point, that when we think that spirituality is not limited to any person, it is universal. And Swami Vivekananda gave that universal message. His message can be taken by a student. What student will learn? Swami Vivekananda taught. Give up your football playing. Go on playing football. Keep aside your Gita reading. Build up the muscles. Be strong. Self-reliant. You can do everything. Learn concentration. And make a mark in life. For a student, for any profession, Swami Vivekananda can guide us to be what we want to be. And all potentiality in us, and how we can transcend our limitation. We are all thinking that I am a limited person in this body and mind. How little I am, and how little I am, and how is my manifestation of my purity, my love, my devotion. How little, but what is the potential? You can become unique. Vivekananda is unique. Why I say? He's not talking only. Swami Vivekananda said this beautiful, little few words you can take in your life. I suggest that there is a book, Thoughts of Power. Very small, $1 book. Just keep in your pocket. And you see how it can improve your life in your everyday struggle, everyday problem. It says, this life is short. The vanities of the world are transient, but they alone live who lives for others. The rest are more dead than alive. Who will say these words? See the power in it. It's not talking from a platform. We big talkers. We are always talkers, so I can give big talk. But in my life, I am a great selfish person. I may be the worst person in the world, and in the lecture platform I can be big. Vivekananda is not like that. Vivekananda cried. The day he was applauded in America, he was recognized in 1893, 9/11. And then that night, he was given to live in a beautiful guest house. And seeing this luxury of this country, of that, comparing to India's poverty and hunger and thirst and homeless situation, he could not sleep all night. He rolled down in the floor. See the man, what he speaks, what he feels. He says, feel. He said, I call him a traitor, who having been educated at the expense of these poor people, pays least heed to them. What type of cry in his heart? He used to cry, shed tears. How India will be brought up from their slumber. So much treasure is there. Swami Vivekananda said, India has so much treasure and it is covered in a mud and no one has cleaned it. It was there, it was forgotten because of some aggression from outside, and Indian society was, because being Sattvika people, they became now Tamasic. That's why Swami Vivekananda wanted for India two messages. I have a message for the East, as Buddha has a message for. I have a message for the West, he said, as Buddha has a message for the East. Your heritage. You are not a child of a baron or a king who have slaughtered the heads of others. But you are proud that your Gotra means you belong to a sage, Rishi, Bharadwaj, Gotra. This Kashyap, Gotra. Who are these Kashyap, Bharadwaj? They are Rishis. Who are the Rishis? Realized souls. They have realized the truth. So that blood, in your blood it is there. But you have to work and open up. And he tried to give this idea that tremendous service to the world is necessary. That's why it is Vivekananda is more relevant today. Some people may question, Vivekananda is so much powerful, what has happened after so many years? What is going on? Nothing happening. It is not the Vivekananda's fault. Message, are we taking that message? Are we trying to imbibe in our life? Do you think these are the real thing we have to change ourselves? That we have to improve our character. Spirituality is character, nothing else. Without the foundation of character, you be a politician, you will be the worst person. You be a doctor, you will be the worst doctor. Without character, you be a professor, you will be the worst professor. Go to India and find how many professors are there only earning good money in private tuition and not teaching in college. I'm not saying the whole of India, but people of this time, we want to be an ideal teacher, ideal student, ideal doctor, ideal professional. The country's development depends upon everyone's contribution in the past. So, Swami Vivekananda is a living force. It is said, some sadhus used to say, Vivekananda is a dynamic power, If someone is going to die and someone listens to the words of Swami Vivekananda, then the dead person will say, wait, death, I have to listen to this message. No? And if someone is sleeping, he will wake up. Waking person, if he listens to Vivekananda, he will stand up. Standing person will start walking. Walking person will run. That is the Vivekananda's potential power. But we have to accept it. You can understand. I have read you one few lines of Swami Vivekananda which he spoke in front of the Parliament of Religions more than 125th year before, from today. But how powerful is this? How much energy is impregnated into this every word, because it came from his heart. Vivekananda was actually tuned to the whole universe. One day, Belur Math, in our headquarters, where Swami Vivekananda established this order, Vedanta Centers, headquarters. In India we call Ramakrishna Mission, here we call Vedanta Society. When he was one night before the last stay in the Belur Math, one night he was restlessly walking back and forth in the middle of the night. One of his brother monks said, Swami, what has happened to you? I am in such excruciating pain, I cannot sleep. What has happened? No, nothing happened to this body. But today, in some part of the world, somewhere, people are in terrible pain and suffering. In those days, it was not like today. You can have your phone, you can have your text messaging, you can have so many modern communication systems. No one could understand, and then what happened? The Swami could not sleep whole night like that, feeling the pain. Next day, in the newspaper it was found that in Fiji, there was a huge volcanic eruption. And the people, so many people died and so many people in great pain. What is this center of connection? Fiji, where, and he is here in Belmont. His heart is feeling the suffering of these people. Yes, that is the message of Vivekananda. We can tune ourselves to everyone. Swami used to cry, seeing the hopeless situation of the country, poor people. Even he used to cry for the prostitutes. One day it happened, he was walking in the streets of Cairo with some of his devotees, like MacLeod and who else was there. Shankara can correct me. And he was walking, when Vivekananda walks, he talks very high. His mind is not in the plane. So they were all walking and they forgot where are they, and suddenly found that they are in some bad areas and they are half naked, some prostitutes, they are calling Swami Vivekananda this way, and they got really, others got very ashamed to bring Vivekananda in that environment. But then no one was aware that they were talking and engrossed in Swamiji's uplifting message in such a way, and they were trying to bring Swami Vivekananda back and to get him directed in another direction. But what? See the greatness of Vivekananda. Vivekananda was not a man of flesh and bone. Vivekananda was a spirit. He was God himself manifested in human form. What he did? He just went straight to all the prostitutes standing half naked and all in different, and he went there. What will be our reaction? And what is his reaction? He went there and tears trickled down his eyes. He said, these are the Divine Mother, the great divinity in them. Not knowing that divinity, they have pulled them down into this present condition. And she was weeping and crying. And these prostitutes, they are kissing the gown of Swami Vivekananda, saying, Swami, Jesus Christ has come before me. Look at that, this Vivekananda is a Vivekananda who transcends all limitation of duality. We live in duality, we cry in duality, we die in duality. And here is Vivekananda who wants to lift us from this duality to this universalism. Vivekananda stands for universal religion. Vivekananda stands for harmony of religion. Vivekananda stands for strength, courage, positivity. Vivekananda stands for giving all the positive inspiration to rouse the women, among the women, the awakening of the women power. Empowerment. Now we are here, women empowerment. It is Vivekananda who first thought about education of the women. He asked Sister Nivedita to go to India and say that you are to dedicate yourself for the cause of India. And Sister Nivedita, with the help of Mother Sarada Devi, and then started with the inspiration of Vivekananda, dedicated her. What an educated lady, what a powerful lady. Sister Nivedita, who was you read the life in Indian history of freedom fighting situation. Nivedita was the inspiration behind Aurobindo, behind so many national leaders of that country. But what she did, she dedicated herself for the women's education. And it is Vivekananda who started the women's education first in India with the help of these Americans. We are greatly indebted to this America because America discovered Swami Vivekananda. We are grateful to South India. South India discovered Vivekananda. They raised fund for Swami Vivekananda to come into this country. But Swami Vivekananda was not for India, not for South, not for North, not for Bengal, not for anybody, but he is for the whole universe. And calling us, come, come, come. Can you sleep? Vivekananda's word. The world is burning in suffering. Can you sleep? Let this thought enter your brain. Let it make you mad. Let it make you sleepless. If you can do that, then I will tell you that you have put your first step into national ideal of service, or you become a country's or political leader. You are saying he is not using the term that is the first step. Do you feel, he said, do you feel millions and millions of descendants of gods and goddesses? And next door, neighbors who are hungry, give the clothes. Can you sleep? That is the call of Swami Vivekananda. See, today in America, we find such a civilized country, such a great country. But look at that. In Los Angeles itself, 60,000 people or 70,000 people in the street. They have no home, homeless. In India, we understand we can handle homelessness because of all millions of sadhus are there homeless. But here, they are not accustomed. See the condition. Who is responsible for this? Man, Swami Vivekananda said. Swami Vivekananda said, I have seen democracy, I have seen socialism, all the ism, but humanism must be a man of character. Character building is my nation. Swami Vivekananda says, Shraddhavan, have faith and trust in yourself and in God. 1 point. Be a person of strength and character. Powerful. Not in negative direction. And Parohitaya Jivan Patkar. Just dedicate your life for the cause of others. This is my Eyamaricha, this is my wish. And this is my blessings for all of you. This is Swami Vivekananda. If you tell me, I can go on, continue, but my time is over. I will keep some time for your question and answer. But I will ask you that how much Swami Vivekananda is relevant. You have to judge yourself. Read Swami Vivekananda. We read so many books. We read so many talks in YouTube. But why not read some books of Swami Vivekananda? Read lectures from Colombo to Almora. Just a small book. Just read that book. See how he is crying for the suffering of others. How he is dedicated. He has dedicated his life. He died in 39 years, 6 months. When he was 39 years, 6 months. By only giving every drop of blood for the good of humanity. And it is a blessing of that we got this message. We have to put into practice in our life so that we can really find who we are. First of all, we think that I am little body bound. That's the Vedanta message is very important. Swami Vivekananda put it. You are not this limited person as you think yourself. But you are something more, greater than that. There is one divine entity which pervades everywhere. That consciousness behind you is the same consciousness in the world. That's why Upanishads declare Isha Vashyam Idagam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagata. So he is talking, pervade everything with the consciousness of the divine Isha, the Paramatma. And Vivekananda preached in this country to the length and breadth only Vedanta. And in that Vedanta, there is of course different aspect. That's not the point of discussion today. He was there to harmonize all religions, all spiritual divisions, spiritual attitudes. He has harmonized whole world in a group to think that we are all human beings, and lifted us into the consciousness that we are divine and we are to behave like a divine entity. Thank you all. Now I will ask you for some questions. Another 10 minutes questions are there. Just stand up and say that others will understand your question.
Why do you think Swami Vivekananda left the world so young, at 39, and do you think he intentionally chose the 4th of July to leave the world?
Yeah, that's also a secret. Swami Vivekananda passed away on the 4th of July. I do not know why, but he has a poem written on the 4th of July. That poem's name is to the 4th of July. And he selected that day. I do not know, I cannot say what his mind was. But before his death, he called somebody to bring the almanac, and he was turning the pages, and when it came to that day, he said, okay, stop. And that is the day he passed away. Why he did, I do not know. But Swami Vivekananda, as I said at the beginning, when he was coming down, when the last day came on 4th of July, on that day, he went to the shrine in the Belur Math, and he was deeply meditating. And normally he does not do that. That day he shut the door and he was meditating in the temple for quite a long, maybe some hours. And he came down, he was singing, humming some song when he's coming down the steps. And suddenly he told what Vivekananda has done. To understand that, another Vivekananda should come. So why he came? He has given enough food. He said, I have given enough. For 1500 years food I have given. Just digest it. More food is not necessary. But Swami Vivekananda said, I want dedication. If I can get still, it's a great message from Swami Vivekananda. I want 100 young men and women will stand in the road, in the street, and say, I have nothing to gain from the world. I am dedicated for the good of the world. If that perfect, selfless 100 people, 100, I can change the whole thought process of this world. He said, it's a powerful statement that if we need to, that message is important. Whatever has been given, that is enough. And they don't belong to this world. It is difficult for them to live with this type of people we are. Is it not? Yeah. But he has given his life. But still, Swamiji is not gone today. He is not dead. He said, beautiful word in reference to this. Yes, 4th of July, America's Day of Freedom, why he died, and he has beautiful poem written on that day, that freedom, this freedom, maybe related that way. And also he said, it may be, listen, these are old quotation, I am quoting one or two, sometimes I am missing the exact quote, forgive me. It says, it may be that I shall cast this body off like an old worn out garment, but I shall not cease to work. I shall inspire men everywhere until the whole world knows that is one with God. The Swami Vivekananda's mission is too big to understand. He is not localized, but he said, listen every word. It may be that I shall cast this body off like an old worn out garment. As we cut tattered cloth, shirt, we throw away. He said, it may be a day will come, and he did it afterwards, that I shall cast this body, Vivekananda's physical body, like an old worn out garment, throw away. But I shall not cease to work. What is Vivekananda's work? I shall not cease to work. I shall inspire men everywhere. Not in particular place. Everywhere. And what is that everywhere? I shall inspire men everywhere until the whole world, look at the words, until the whole world becomes one with God. Until we understand we are divine. The message of Vivekananda still continues. He cannot rest. Though he is not in the body, but out of the body he is working. He is who have inspired here, who have inspired Ravi to call this and asked me to come over here to speak about Vivekananda. You see, Ravi is an instrument, but it's Vivekananda's wish. He inspires. I shall inspire men everywhere until the world shall know, each one of us know, unless we know that we are one with God and not this physical little petty body-mind complex, my education, my stamp, not my bio. I am not that, bio is not me. But I am beyond that. May the time May the sword cannot cut, but the water cannot wet, the fire cannot burn. I am that infinite, absolute. That is the message. So this message is enough. We can work on that whole life. So probably he thought it is enough I have given. Anyone? Yes.
Swamiji, thank you for the speech, and very inspiring. And recently there has been a realization, especially among the non-resident Indians, which I see over here. I haven't been to India in 10 years, so I'm seeing what I'm seeing here. There's been a realization of learning about Vedas, the Vedic scripts. There has been a realization between the parents to let the kids understand or make them go through the Vedas and understand what the Hindu culture, the script is. So, what makes you think that this has been the realization all of a sudden, which I see it out here? Do we see that a lot in India as well? Or it's just over here because the parents are staying away from India?
I think India is also turning. Swami Vivekananda says when we, in this country what has happened, we have reached the pinnacle of materialistic development. Money, wealth, enjoyment, fun, all easily available. Here, that's why Swami Vivekananda preached Vedanta. Because they have the fixed mind who knows that I have done that, I have seen that. It is not satisfying. What shall I do after this? With my money, what shall I do? I have $1 million in my bank. Shall it give me peace? I have accomplished in my life so much. What next? So that was the cry of this country. And being born here by cosmic desire, this desire has come and we are now learning what is, it is Vivekananda, I will not say, but in God is working in that diverse way to go back to our essential nature. It is not for you, not for Hindus, not for all Americans or Christians. Or in our order there are so many Christians, so many Jewish people, Christian people, Muslim people, all religion. It is universal religion and that is the proper import. Yes, in this country parents are asking what Swami Vivekananda wanted probably. We should take the best of East and the best of West. And in India also, there are those things don't come in the newspaper. But this message is there. The media only focuses what is sensational, what will sell their papers, and what will make them money. But there are many good things are going on. Now Sanskrita Bharati. Sanskrit is now very popular in many places. People are talking in Sanskrit. How? Like we are talking English. Why? Do you know the grammar first and then the baby learns the grammar first or talks? So similarly, that tradition has coming down. I think it is by cosmic way. To know that man cannot live on bread alone. In India it is happening and in here. In here because they saw the life of this world with money, with wealth, with name and fame, everything, but that cannot satisfy you. You need something more. That's why this knowledge, Vedic knowledge, Upanishadic knowledge, knowledge of the Gita and others, which has given solace to millions of people in the world, so that is being emphasized. I think it is going on. In our Ramakrishna order, we try to do, in Chinmaya Mission, they are trying to do, so many Indian gurus are trying to do that. This is not restricted in the Ramakrishna order only. It is a movement. It has come. By whose will? I will say it is cosmic will. And it's good. They should know much. That's why you take or not is yours. But try to take them. What is best in the East? What is best in the West? And Swami Vivekananda wanted to preach of that. Let West learn. That's why Swami Vivekananda said, I have come in this country to beg money. No? He first started to women's education, to raise some money by his lecture, and he will collect that and he will start a school there. That was his intention. He started that with some technological school. Could you imagine in that period 1900? And that time to think about technical school, carpentry, or electrical, all this, technology, to give that technology, is raising funds from here. He said, you, India, should learn this Western science and technology. They are good, whatever is there. And they are lacking in this universal religion, which is the core of India. And India has produced millions of sadhus and holy people. And this holiness should come over here, and this will go there. So both will be in this by give and take. And that is very important for our own personal life and for the good of the world. Anyone? Yes.
I have one question. So thank you so much once again for reminding us about our purpose in this life. And I have a question. You mentioned that to become one with God, you need to get under control your external and internal natures. Can you please define what do you mean by external and internal?
Internal nature means your mind, no?
Internal is a mind?
Mind and our understanding, all these faculty in Hinduism they call chitta. Mind, intellect, ego and your remembering faculty. These four faculties are to be curbed. Mind can take us to divine thing. Mind can make us cry for the suffering of others. Mind can make a plan to have a twin tower destruction. So how to train the mind to let it go for higher purpose of life? Which mind will tell us that I am not the body? That mind is necessary. We are always concentrated in the body and this is me, this is me, this is me. But how this mind should be trained to think, no, I am not this only. I have a different dimension behind me. There is some force, some divine energy working. There is somebody in me who is watching my waking experience. There is somebody who in me who is watching the dream experience, which observing your sleep experience. Who is that continuous conscious entity in me? That is me, I. And to train the mind to go towards that, and if I see that I here, then I will find your eye, my eye, this eye, in between this space, it is all one eye, it's like space. That is the experience. You may say, how do you know that? I do not know maybe, but I see all the great people whom we respect. Rama, Krishna, Buddha, Shankara, all these people, they have practiced and they have experienced. So, training the mind, training our senses. Senses will run any direction. And if you run with it, then how you will control yourself? Look at that. People say, if you are not having a control of your eyes, your tongue, your ear, your nose and your skin, then what will happen? A reckless life. If someone says that you go and rape and kill other women because they are not to belong in my religion, you will go to heaven and having so much fun there. What type of rational mind should say, no, it cannot be. I cannot harm anyone. First point is that I am ahimsa. I cannot harm, I cannot do in action, thought and deed. Thinking, even not. Saying, word, thought and deed. I should be ahimsa. That's the foundation. I should be celibate. I should be celibate means I should be devoted to my spouse. That sincerity should be there. And these are the values of life. If not, that's the curbing the mind internal. And external, there is rain. We have used umbrella. That's external. This is cold. We have made a house and it is heat. We generated, there is a heater, cooler. We have to walk. We have invented what is called car. You want to go from distance, we have plane. So these are controlling the nature. External nature is saying, no, you cannot fly. Gravitation pull will pull you down. We said, no, we'll fly and then go. We have created satellites going to the other planet. This is the external conquest in the external. But external conquest is nothing unless internal conquest. So this is the internal change, and that will change me from my animalistic personality to divine personality. And that is very much important, and that focus may be given in the external development also.
Thank you so much.
Swami, give some details about the Vedanta Society activities when it was started here.
No.
And but the Atlanta Center.
We in the, as I know, most of you are from India and some of you are not maybe, but you all know Ramakrishna Mission is in India, was established by Swami Vivekananda with a twin ideal. It is called Atmana Mokshartam Jagat Hitaya Cha. It is Vivekananda's motto. First of all, anyone is a monk or a nun, they join after finishing their school education, college education, and there is a age restriction. They cannot join after certain age because they need to serve the order and serve the human being. What for they join? They join for their self-knowledge, as I am talking. Know thyself. Who are you? That is Atma Mukti, Atmana Mokshartam. For my own liberation. Liberation from what? Liberation from this little personality. Liberation from my egocentric life. Liberation from my weakness, my passion, my incessant desire to fulfill my all sensate experiences. That freedom from the mukti, Atma Mukti. And then what will come? That divine will grow out. If the cloud is removed, what will come? Sun will reveal its own way. Sun is not coming from anywhere. It is the eternal Sun, the Lord, the divine is here itself. So, Atma Mukti. Try to rip up your egos, rip up your passions, desires, little petty things, and divert that to God. And divert that God. Where is that God? The people you see around. People hungry, homeless, those who are need clothing, they are frustrated in life situation. Go to help the flood afflicted, fire afflicted people. We India, that is the way Ramakrishna Mission works. Seeing God in others, serve. Not as a man. We are not perfected, but we fail, but we try. That is the Atma Mukti and Jagat Hita, the good of the world. Don't do any harm to anyone. Try to do. Swami Vivekananda said, if you can help anyone, go and do. If you don't harm them. Step aside and say, oh Lord, please do something good to them. So this is the way, this to build up our life, this Ramakrishna Mission has been set, and this Swami Vivekananda started this organization with the all Brahmagyanis, all the mots of truth. Those who are joined at the beginning by Swami Vivekananda's inspiration, they were all Ramakrishna's disciples, and they have their own self-realization and they dedicated their life for the good of humanity. For the poor, not only for the poor, for the elites, for the educated. Educated people may be good in their education, but the science of spirituality, it is a science. Many of them do not know that. We are all educated people, but how much of us are aware about the spiritual dignity? That's why this organization works in different fields. In this country, our major work is to talk about this Vedantic principle, talk about devotion, talk about meditation, talk about love, talk about karma, how to do selfless karma, and make our life a meaningful life. So this is the work we do it here. More focus is on this side, and in India, focus is on that side of education. We have huge educational institutions. We have 200 centers. Each center is a huge organization. In our some institutions we have about 3,000 to 4,000 students are working. We have hospitals where we are serving the public who are in, we call it Narayan Seva. That's a unique definition has been given. Jiva, we are not serving patient. Normally we say patient, but you go to our Vrindavan center, go to our Benares center, they call it is Narayan Seva. They actually one day worship each patient with flower, fruits and waving incense like as we do in our temple. To put that idea that you are worshipping in the temple, Swami Vivekananda said, you worship in the temple, come, do, who is needed most. Women's education. We do some schools and colleges, but our another wing is called Sharada Math. Sharada Math is the women's organization. The same principle as Ramakrishna Mission, it is Sarvadevananda. There are about highly educated girls of India and abroad. They join there and they dedicate their life. So our activity is in this country preaching, discussing about the spiritual questions, how to elevate everyone's life, how to handle the day-to-day problems of our life which we face every day, spiritually how we can enrich ourselves. That in the light of Upanishads, in the light of the Bhagavad Gita, in the light of Swami Vivekananda's teaching, in the light of Sri Ramakrishna's experience of harmony of all religions and living the service idea given by Swami Sri Ramakrishna. That is the type of activity more here. But we do soup kitchen, we go to help the homeless people in some other way, but limited. But in India, that side is more focused. The same thing. Here, we are not giving lectures. Here we think we are serving God in you. I may forget that. That's my weakness. But the goal is this. And there also we serve God in man. In the school, in the colleges, in hospitals, in outdoor dispensaries, in flood afflicted people, in the fire afflicted people. So that is the way we are doing this. Thank you all. Thank you for listening, such a patient hearing. And I took you a long time, 1 hour 15 minutes. So hope you will read Swami Vivekananda. Online, you need not to purchase books. You can go Swami Vivekananda and go ramabelunmat.org or vedanta.org. Just and type Vivekananda's powerful words, some quotation, few lines that may inspire us. Thank you.